Hello everybody, SlimKirby here. Welcome back to more of the Mario Golf project. This video is going to be a little bit different than the past couple of videos we've done because this is first of all going to be in post-commentary because we're going to be doing a bit of birdie badge hunting, which for those who don't know, we've played through basically half of the tournaments so far. And we have these coins, these Mario coins called birdie badges. These badges you'll get whenever you get a birdie or better on a hole in this game. There are 108 birdie badges in this game. Basically 18 holes, 6 courses, 18 times 6 is 108. That is the total number of coins we need to collect. And the reason why we are collecting these coins, they are actually required to get some unlockables in the game. The first unlockable you'll get after getting 50 coins, which we're, kind of on the road to that. We, missed a couple of birdies along the way. We've missed, I think, 10 on both the Toad and Shy Guy courses, and we missed only 8 on the Koopa course. So we do have quite a bit to go back and reclaim, but we're more than halfway to getting the first character unlockable, though. But because we do need to get all of these to unlock all the characters, this is something that I will need to obviously show off because, it is part of unlocking everything in the game. And it may seem kind of intimidating to get all of these birdie badges, but it's really not as bad as you think it would be. Especially due to a bit of a trick I will be showcasing later on in this video. Because with that trick, you can actually essentially get all the birdie badges in one run of the course. So it's really not too bad, but I don't like playing that way, like when I'm just casually playing the game. I just kind of like just seeing how well I do without, resorting to exploits and stuff of that nature. But because we do need to unlock all the characters, I figured that this would probably be the best way to do this. I'll play through all the tournaments once, and then basically once we play through 3 tournaments, I'll do a video like this where I basically showcase me getting all the other birdie badges that I missed along the way. So as you can see, all of the holes that don't have a yellow dot under them, those are the holes we need to birdie. So we need to birdie the first 3 holes, hole 5, hole 9, hole 11, hole 13, hole 15, hole 17, and last but not least, hole 18. So we have to do a lot of the odd numbered holes, apparently. I guess Plum, she's more of an evens girl, I guess. But yeah, we're gonna go through, see if we can obtain all of the birdies on the courses or all the holes rather we did not get birdies on before. As far as this hole is concerned, hole 1 on Toad Highlands, it's really not too bad. This is actually a hole where I got bogey on in the first video, which was a very poor showing, but I was able to recover. I was able to run it back. You gotta give me a little credit for that. Plus, I was also, in the midst of explaining everything, so, there was a reason why I probably wasn't as focused as I could have been. It was also the first time of me playing this game in a bit. I mean, I do come back and play this game a lot, but it was the first time that I played it in, a pretty decent period of time anyway. So yeah, we got the first hole. Now we'll go ahead and do the second hole. The par 3s, especially with the trick I'll be showcasing later. The par 3s are probably the best holes to get birdie badges on just because they're short. And with that exploit, you can easily replay them. And especially on these first par 3s where the greens are pretty generous, you can usually find yourself getting pretty close. Just got to use a nice lofted iron shot and just try to get it close. That's really all I can say about it. Your biggest enemy while trying to obtain these birdie badges will no doubt be the wind. The wind will be your biggest foe because, quite seriously, the wind can make a very easy hole that much harder because it's blowing back at you. Even on par 5s, having a really bad wind can have you just approach that one particular hole in a way that you're not usually even used to. And that can honestly throw you off when you're trying to collect these birdie badges because, you know, you're expecting like par 5s to be easy. You have a lot more shots to work with, but if the wind just is not blowing in the right way, it can be a bit of a slog to get through. And just in general, if you have like a course with like a very narrow fairway, that's also detrimental. So yeah, it's just something you got to look out for. But there are ways to kind of combat that, I guess, which again we'll talk about a little bit later. But we got the first 3 holes done, so next we're going to be moving on to hole number 5. Another hole that's honestly pretty simple. Just, you know, stay up on the level fairway, hit your second shot to the hole, and then just tap it in. Just, you know, channel in your inner Happy Gilmore and just tap, tap, tap it in. Taparoo. I think that's actually the first time I've referenced Happy Gilmore in this project. I'll go ahead and say it. Happy Gilmore is one of my favorite movies, actually. Me and my good friend Odin Spack, like, especially whenever we play golf games on stream, we're like always referencing that movie. It's just a really funny movie. Like, I'm not a big fan of Adam Sandler these days, but like back in the day, like Happy Gilmore was just freaking hilarious. God, I love that movie. Okay, so we're done with hole 5. Next, we're going to be moving on to hole number 9. Jumping forward about 4 holes here. This hole's not too bad. Also, yeah, I got a bogey on hole 7. It doesn't really matter what you do in all the other holes. Like, our goal is not to finish in first place. Our goal is to get birdie badges here, so it doesn't really matter. It's just you know, just kind of funny that, you know, I'm still getting bogeys even when I'm trying to go for birdie badges. But honestly, one thing you could do is you could literally just give up on any hole that you normally, like, you don't need to get a birdie badge on because you already got it. You could do that. That's technically the fastest way to do it. But, you know, I don't want to hurt my scorecard, especially since, you know, we actually have to finish this tournament because of the fact that hole 18 we have to replay. So I don't want that to hurt my, like, score average. Not just my own personal preference, but, you know, if you're speedrunning the game, I think that is, like, the strat. If, like, you missed a birdie badge, just, like... Well, I guess if you're doing a speedrun, your goal would be to get them all on the first go, regardless, so you wouldn't be replaying courses, but... still, you get what I'm saying, anyway. But yeah, got hole number 11 here. This is the nice stretch of odd-numbered holes we have to play through. This hole is probably one of the more difficult holes on this first course, though. Not only do you have like kind of a sharp dog leg here, but the green's also kind of awkward to approach. Not so much with this wind. Thankfully, the wind is kind of playing to our favor here, but it's still scary. Still scary at the very least. Kind of wish the bounce was a little better, but that's still very makeable. Honestly, I think anything within 20 feet is a really good putt. Because when you get to like kind of the 20s, or rather the high 20s, like you're kind of on that edge of whether or not you need to switch to the yellow meter, and I don't like that yellow meter when putting because it's so much more sensitive and the putts are so much faster. But here we have hole number 13, another par 3 here. Not much to say about this one. We have wind, we have rain. The rough kind of stopped it there, but thankfully the wind, I think, kind of gave it a little extra push. We do have kind of a lengthy putt, but thankfully, like, I don't mind the yellow line putts so much in the rain, because you kind of need to hit it a little harder in the rain anyway, but still, it's just... It's incredibly sensitive. You feel like even if you just get, like, one line off, you still feel like your putt's going to just go so out of the way, and it can be kind of nerve-wracking, not going to lie. So next up we have hole number 15. I think this is another kind of difficult hole of this course. just a little bit, because the green's a bit small and you kind of have this weird little curve surrounded by this kind of canyon of rough over here. Once again, I think the wind is at least playing in our favor, though, so it's not too bad. But, ooh. Again, another very lucky bounce from the rough of all places. That's like twice in a row I've kind of gotten a lucky bounce from the rough, which is kind of weird. Because normally in the rough, like, your ball will just stop. It's the fairways where, like, your ball actually bounces forward a lot more. So that's it for that hole. We have the last two holes left, 17 and 18. Here's where I'll actually be showcasing that trick that I've been talking about. Because I'll go ahead and admit it, I will not get this on the first try, but I am going to showcase this just to kind of give you an idea of this trick and why I'm showing it off and why it's important for getting the birdie badges. So, you know, we're going to go ahead and aim this shot, which, you know, wasn't bad. Honestly, that's a pretty decent lie right there. But, you know, I am kind of on that, you know, edge of the yellow and blue meter, so I'm going to go to the yellow meter, going to aim probably right here. Going to shoot it forward, but I just missed it. However, that's not a problem. You don't have to actually restart the entire tournament and get all the way back to hole 17. Because if you hit the pause button right here, you will actually bring up, you know, your pause menu, of course. But there is a nice, lovely option at the very bottom of that menu, and I don't know why it's taking me so long to bring this up. Come on, Yoshi, come on. I guess I'll just go ahead and explain it. But save and quit is a very handy feature in this game, especially if you're, you know, just starting out with this game and you're trying to get better at it. Because when you save and quit and you reload the game, you'll actually be on your first shot again. So as a result, you know, if you're trying to get the birdie badges, if you manage to, you know, not get a birdie badge, one thing you can do is just, you know, after you've missed your birdie shot, just use save and quit and try the hole again. And the great thing about the save and quit feature is, at least, I think it's in both this and the character matches, or just really just any mode of play. The wind, as well as any other conditions going on, like rain and all of that, they'll be the same exact conditions. So the wind will be the same. You can basically just, like, try and adjust your shot until you get something that you feel comfortable with. So, like, here, for example, like, I tried two different shots here. One worked and the other one didn't. Well, one worked better than the other one. So I'm kind of doing something a little more akin to what I did the first time. Like, I tried not to hit the ball as hard. Instead, try to put, like, a little bit of a, you know, I used a lower distance club with power. And as a result, that prevented me from going all the way into the rough like the second attempt. So in that third attempt, I had a much more manageable putt, and it was, you know, a lot more makeable. I was a lot closer. And as a result, I was able to get the birdie badge. So if you're trying to go for all the birdie badges, I definitely recommend using the save and quit trick, because it'll save you a lot of pain and suffering. Because you don't want to start the entire course over from the very beginning if you need a birdie badge on hole 17 or 18, for example. Because then you have to play through all 16 holes again. It's not fun. Just do yourself a favor and do the save quit trick. I will not judge you. Nobody should judge you, because this game can honestly be pretty unforgiving at times. Whether it's the wind, whether it's just the game mechanics in general, whether it's kind of the input lag delay you get sometimes if you're not playing this on like a CRTV screen or something. It's just something you need to kind of make peace with, and I honestly don't think it's too bad using the save and quit trick, especially if you're just going for the birdie badges. I think it's more than fair to do, in my own honest opinion. So yeah, I definitely recommend using that trick if you're going for all the birdie badges yourself. And, you know, if you want to make it, again, if it's something you want to do along the way, like in your first tournament run, that's fine. I mean, you'll be guaranteed to get first place because you'll have a score of 18 under par every single time. So that's something. But, yeah, that's pretty much the save and quit trick. Definitely recommended when going for all the birdie badges. So now we're on Koopa Park. We only have 8 holes to get this time. Holes 4 and 5, 7 and 9. And a big stretch of holes, 13 to 16. Which was kind of funny that there were so many holes there. But shouldn't be too bad. Koopa Park is, again, pretty easy compared to a lot of the late game courses, that's for sure. So this is a par 3. Par 3s, like I said earlier, par 3s are definitely the best, I think, for birdie badges. Especially with the save and quit trick, because they're very quick retries. You literally have 2 shots to get in the hole. So if you, you know, don't get in 2, just restart and you have those 2 shots again. You can try to improve your first shot a little more to make your second shot better. If, like, you maybe went 1 club too high, if maybe, you know, you need to just hit it a little softer. You know, stuff of that nature. That makes kind of redoing those a lot more friendly than, like, the par 5s, for example, where you end up with, like, a really bad wind condition and, you know, you're just kind of struggling getting to the green and you literally need, like, 3 shots to get at the hole. Oh, man. That was such a close putt. Or such a close shot. I was so close to getting an eagle on that. Oh well. Okay, hole number 6. This is a par 5. I've also already gotten one on this, so we're not going to do that hole. We're actually going to do hole 7. I think it was just a case of me. I didn't check the holes after I was done. So I was like, wait, is this one I need one? And it's like, no, I didn't. Okay. That's what happened there. So yeah, gonna do hole 7 now. Hole 7, as you can see, we have wind, we have rain. I always, like, never really know how to judge when you have both, like, wind like this and rain. Because you gotta think that rain will be kind of, you know, making your ball not go as far, but at the same time, like, I feel it also kind of affects the wind a little bit too, but it's hard to really know. I just went with 1 club less. I kind of favored the wind a little more than the rain, and even then, it's still a hard call because I'm not exactly in a great location here, but thankfully, my putting skills can speak for themselves. Hell yeah. Although if that pin wasn't there, I probably would have rolled right over. Honestly, I'm not ashamed to admit that. That probably would have happened. So this happened on hole 8. I don't need to get a birdie for this one, but I did want to show this off. If I just hit it a little harder, that would have rolled right in. But hole number 9, this is the next hole we're going to do. Not too bad of a hole. Again, Yoshi, this is why I think Yoshi's a great character for at least the early courses and getting birdie badges, because he's just a very, very good character. He hits the ball far, but, like, not too far. So, like, in the case of this hole, he doesn't have to deal with that very thin fairway strip up here, and just has a much better second shot, usually. But again, with a higher powered character, you could probably get right up to the green with no problem. That's the trade-off. That's the trade-off you have to kind of think of. Do you want to get... do you want to be more safe, or do you want to be a big risk taker? It's really up to you. So that'll do it for the front 9. Next we go to the back 9, which we have 4 holes in a row. Hole 13, 14, 15, and hole number 16. 2 of these are par 3s as well. Like, I seriously, like, missed all... Well, I didn't miss all of them because I didn't have to get hole 8, but all 3, the other 3 par 3s I didn't get birdie badges on in this course for some reason. And how did I not with how close I'm hitting these? And like I was using Peach. Like I had a really good round with Peach when I played this tournament. Like I got 10 under par. And was playing like really, really well with Peach. Which is, again, a weird concept for me. Because you guys know how things are between me and that princess. We are not on good terms. Except when we play Mario Golf, I guess. Peach is a character I've actually gotten a hole-in-one with in Mario Golf before. I think I will actually do that when we kind of get to like the extra videos. And like, I mean like, not like where I showcase different modes, but when I get to like the final extra video where I showcase like some of the extra like menu options and stuff, I might actually, like, in addition to some of the replay shots I had, because a lot of people wondered, because I mentioned deleting my Wii data to actually make room for this new save file. And as a result, I had to delete all of my, you know, my replay shots. Now I didn't have as many replay shots on this version as I do on the actual N64 cartridge, but there were some good shots. There was even a hole-in-one on it. And before I deleted the save data, I did actually record all of those really good shots. So I did not forget to get those before I deleted the data. So I think when I get to like kind of those extra videos and I showcase like kind of the replay mode, maybe I'll do a video where I can showcase some of my awesome shots from the past, like from before this project, like even on my N64 cartridge. That might be a fun thing to do. So you may actually see the famed hole-in-one with Princess Peach that I've been talking about. I still can't even believe that happened. Like, of all the characters to get a hole-in-one with, it just had to be with my arch nemesis. Seriously, like, what's wrong with me? But yeah, we're actually about done. That rant kind of took me through like the last 3 holes, so sorry if you wanted me to say much. There's really not much to say about like these particular courses because Koopa Park is pretty basic. There's not really, you know, it looks like a golf course. It's one of the, man, again, these par 3s. I feel like I was within 5 feet on every single one of these par 3s that I've done. Yoshi is a par 3 machine. But that's actually it for Koopa Park. That one really flew by. That took like less time than the Toad Tournament ones. Granted, we had like 2 less holes to do, but again, since 3 of them were par 3s, and did we even have to redo any of the par 5s? I don't think we did, which is kind of funny. But I did want to show this off, since obviously, like, we don't need the save data anymore. So instead of saving and quitting and actually making a save file, I just opted to delete the file altogether and just end game. Because, again, we don't need to play those last 2 holes, so why play them? I could have locked in my awesome score for sure, but I didn't think there was a need to. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the Shy Guy International. We have 10 birdie badges to get here. I think we actually have to do like every single one of the par 5s as well. We sure do. So yeah, this will probably take a bit longer, but that's okay. That's okay. So we have hole 1, hole 3 and 4, 6, 8 and 9, 14 and 15, and 17 and 18. This is going to be a long one, and again, this is where course difficulty starts to increase a bit more. This is the easiest of the kind of more advanced courses, but still, it's got some toughies. It's a course where if the wind decides to wreck your day, it can. Especially on those par 5s, so just got to be really, really careful with that. This first hole's not too bad, though. Just a matter of getting a good first shot and then getting close with your second shot. I didn't get really that close, but I feel like this should be good enough. I actually didn't have to switch to the other meter. We were going downhill. I need to pay more attention to the top left whenever I'm putting, because it actually does tell you if you're hitting downhill. Like it gives you a location of where your hole is, or where the hole is compared to where your ball is currently. Like it even does that for like the sides there, like for even this location. Not a great first shot, but this is a par 5, so as long as our next shot here is alright, we should be fine. This is interesting, though. We actually did not even get to that next part of the rough area. We actually landed in the waste area, which for the waste area, I recommend hitting the ball a little harder, because that does kind of slow your shot down a little bit. Or not really slow your shot down, but it decreases the distance because you're not exactly hitting from a very stable surface. But thankfully we made that work despite the terrible beginning of that hole, so get a nice birdie shot there. And with that, we move on to hole number 4, which this is the canyon hole. This one actually took me a couple of tries to get right. And it's really it is the fault of the canyon, but not for the reason you'd expect. Because I never actually made it into the canyon. I think of that with maybe if I used a power shot, I would have. But yeah, like, it's hard to assess because we're essentially, we are hitting it uphill. But, you know, there is that canyon, so it's like, it's hard to judge, like, whether or not you're level with the hole or not. So you almost need to figure out, well, do I need to adjust my shot at all then? But I think for that one, you still want to kind of hit, like, maybe a club or two higher. Because as you can see, I just kind of barely landed on the green there, so it's a hard thing to gauge, but you probably should, like, you know, aim for a club or two higher, in my opinion. So yes, now we have hole number 6. This one's not terribly bad. It's very straightforward. Do have to be kind of careful of those dips into the bunker on the sides. If I go for this, I think I should... Yeah, I didn't hit full power there, because I think that would have hit it way too hard. But I think that was a good compromise, and as you can see, it worked pretty well. I love when it's like 5 feet away. It's a very free and easy putt. Feels good when you get it. So next up, we have hole number 8, and I remember having some issues with this hole. Yeah, as you can see, like, the middle of this fairway is terrible. The wind is also not helping because it's really wanting to go to those bunkers. This is just a very, very awkward set of circumstances for this hole. So after, like, I think 5 or 6 attempts at this, I just, tried to aim for this shot. I felt like this was the smart thing to do, and hey, it was. So yeah, another chip-in eagle on a par 4. I've had more eagles like that than I've had, like, par 5 eagles, which is crazy. I've had more par 4 eagles than par 5 eagles, which is just not... That's not common. That's not common at all. Someday I'll get a par 5 eagle. Mark my words. Someday it'll happen. And yeah, this is kind of what I was talking about earlier. The wind can just really destroy, like, even a par 5. Because we're, after the second shot, we're still going to be, like, probably more than 100 yards away from the hole. Which is just not something you'd be used to because, usually your third shot you're trying to approach the green. But here we still got some distance to go. The wind is just really, really bringing it back. Because as you can see, I did like 3 clubs higher than what it was initially recommending. Because that wind can just seriously be an evil, evil mistress. So we got our 50th birdie badge, which unlocks a new character. That new character's name, because it didn't show the name of the character, you can actually see her name on the scoreboard right now. And no, it's not Zelda. That is actually Maple. That's right, the same Maple from Syrup that we joked about in an earlier video. So yeah, that unlocks Maple. I'm not going to go over her right now because, you know, we're still working on birdie badges, but I will use her in one of the upcoming videos because she is a very good character, and honestly, we'll probably be seeing her in a couple of videos as we kind of approach the end of the initial run of the project with unlocking all the characters and everything. Because she's, honestly, I like to compare her a lot to Yoshi, because she is a straight shot character, but she does have more distance than Yoshi, so, you know, kind of a more advanced Yoshi. I still think Yoshi is a little bit better. Like, he's a little more accurate still, but Maple also has a lot of the very same skill that Yoshi does. But that's all I'll say about it. So here we do have another eagle attempt. We don't get it, but remember, we just need birdie badges. We don't need eagle badges, so just get the birdie and move on. And we're down to the last 3 holes of this run. So first up, hole 15, par 3. Not a lot to say about it. Yeah, for this one you probably want to go 2 clubs lower. Because again, it's a 36 yards downhill. So it'll carry a little further. And there we go. Again, all of these par 3 shots have been incredible. They've all been within 5 feet. Or at least close to 5 feet. And now I believe we have the last par 5 of this course. And this is the fun one. I don't think Yoshi can quite get to that island on the left. Maybe if you like try to get a little extra loft with your ball you can, but I just don't think that's a safe way to do it. Strange as it is, I think it's better just to play this normally. I think you have like more, well actually I don't know, I think from that middle fairway you would technically have more green to work with, but it's not a small green, so you have plenty to, you have enough to work with. The one problem we do have though is that the wind is kind of blowing back in our face, but well, in that case we'll just use a little more club, maybe not that much club. But this enough club. And that's probably within like 15 feet. Yeah, not too bad. So we'll go ahead, knock this in. We have one more hole to go. Hole number 18. And then we're done with the silly birdie badges for the first 3 tournaments. Now, the next birdie badge video will probably be a lot longer because I don't foresee me making as many birdies in my initial runs as I did in these 3 tournaments. And even then, I expected to do better in this first set because, honestly, like, I think my first score was like 5 under par, which would have been 8 under par if I didn't get any bogeys. I feel like that's not really reflective of my abilities in this game for that first course with how easy it is. So I think that I think the Let's Play curse, as it's called, definitely played with my mind a little bit when it came to my initial tournament runs. But it's okay. I'm focusing on commentating. I imagine there's going to be some input lag and stuff of that nature too. So it is what it is. I'm not trying to make excuses. It's just, again, part of Let's Playing, so it's to be expected. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back to live commentary next time, obviously, because it just made more sense to do post-commentary for this video since we were doing a lot of, like, you know, explaining and talking about things. But yeah, there's our new character, Maple. She's now our furthest drived character. Not by much, but she does drive the farthest now. And we'll definitely see her in action in one of the upcoming videos. But yeah.